May the Force be with us. And it is definitely still with us. Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Since I loved last year's The Force Awakens, I went into this movie not sure how I was gonna like it or I was gonna dislike it. But I gotta say, I left the film really loving it. And I think I loved it more than The Force Awakens. Don't hate me for saying that. Please don't. But I did. I know what you're gonna say. Another prequel movie. I know you're tired of the other prequels. I didn't hate the prequels. Even the Phantom Menace. Please don't come down on me too hard. That was a flawed movie, but don't think it was a terrible film. No, I don't think it was. Neither were the other two. And you probably know what the film's about. If you saw episode 4, you know about the Death Star plans that got the Princess Leia and planted him into R2-D2. How did she get those plans? Well, this movie explains that. About how some rebels discovered there was a weak spot in the Death Star, and it's a race against time to get the plans to the Alliance. And that's basically the story, and all. I'm not going to tell you anymore in case you just I'm sure there's a lot of Star Wars fans who pretty much know how this is going to end. But if you're just new to Star Wars and just getting into it, I'm not going to spoil it for you because I'm not that type of guy. I got to say that the effects are pretty good. I mean, there is CGI effects, but it doesn't go too overboard with it. Governor Tonka, who was played by Peter Cushing in episode 4, is in this. And of course, his face is CGI'd. And it's pretty noticeable. It's pretty noticeable, but I gotta say, the guy who plays Governor Tonka does a pretty good impersonation of Peter Cushing. I mean, it almost makes me think that that's actually him. And Darth Vader's in it too. He's not in it much, but when he's in it, you just feel his presence when he's there. And the other cast do well also. I mean, Felicity Jones as Jyn Erso. I mean, she's got a good story arc, and you really feel for her character. But I gotta say, she's quite the badass in this movie. I mean, she is a thin 5'3" woman, and she kicks the crap out of so many guys that are a little bit bigger than her. I liked her for that. And K2SO is also a good character, a robot voiced by Alan Tudyk. I mean, he is just quite the enjoyable smartass in this film. He is a scene stealer. I gotta say that. He's just a fun character. You just enjoy him for his slide remarks, and I wonder what kind of conversation he and C-3PO would have had. They probably had a good debating of an argument. That's what I believe that, yeah. And then not to mention Ben Mendelsohn is Orson Kenica, I think his name is. He's just a fun. Gives a good, fun, insane performance. I mean, he's kind of, sort of like a Gary Oldman, like from The Professional type of a performance he does give, and I think for those who are Star Wars fans, I believe you'll probably really enjoy this movie, and I hope you will, because I really enjoyed it, because there are some callbacks to some other Star Wars films. I mean, There are two characters from episode 4 who make an appearance. If you blink, you might miss them. They're not in it for long, but when they're there, you notice them and you'll just go, "Oh, I remember those two." I won't say who they are. You'll know them when you see them, believe me. Let's not forget Donnie Yen. Famed martial arts action star who he plays a blind man who's a fighter, and he's not a Jedi, but he really fancies himself as a Jedi. And you probably know Donnie Yen is a big martial arts star, probably the biggest thing to Jet Li. Well, he comes in close second. But he's good. He's also quite a scene stealer too. All the other characters are pretty good also, and I know you're eagerly waiting for next year's the new Force movie. So I give Rogue One, a Star Wars story, a 10 out of 10. And it's also a sad day note when famed TV actor Alan Thicke has passed away at the age of 69. I really liked Alan Thicke, best known for playing the dad in Growing Pains, Dr. Jason Seaver. He had such a warm presence. He always made you feel like he was your dad. He also had a talk show before Growing Pains to be called Thick of the Night. He wanted to be like the next Johnny Carson, but that was a tough act to follow, so that got canceled. But the role of Jason Seaver came around pretty quickly, and it pretty much made his career. Alan Thicke was 69. Rest in peace, Alan Thicke. You were a great presence.